Howdy folks, welcome back to another episode of RNP Reseller Niche Podcast, What Sold. This is for the fourth week of February. About 8 days worth of sales, the last of the month. And I'm going to try and go through this a little bit faster. And if you like these videos, please like and subscribe, comment if you would like, even if you're going to tell me that I'm an idiot and I'm selling boring stuff. I'd like to hear that too. It's all good. So let's get started. Starting off right here, we've got a Disney Mickey Mouse towel blanket thing. It's for golf, I believe. I don't know anything about golf or very little. So this one I had for, I want to say 2 years, maybe 18 months. Sold for $38.28, including shipping and tax. Most of that, more than half of that went to shipping and tax actually. $15 was actually the sale cost of the item. And next up, we've got a throw blanket. This is American Weaver's tapestry. It's kind of a Noah's Ark. Had like lions, tigers, bears, a lot of fringe on the sides of it. I sell these every now and then, usually in the colder months. Throw blankets are good, especially if they've got lots of cool embroidery, lots of interesting designs on them. And this one I had on, this is one of the last items I actually had on Poshmark. So it sold on eBay though, but I had a few on Poshmark that actually sold. So this is one of the few items that actually sells for me on Poshmark. And that one sold for $59.95. $29.95 of that, $29.99 of that was the actual sale cost. Okay, next up, just a regular middle of the row North Face hoodie. This one, I took really bad pictures of this. It looks almost black with red on it. It's actually kind of a, not even a dark green, kind of a medium green and red. So I'm really glad I put that in the title right there. And sorry, not even red, it was orange. It was green and orange. But this one sold for $37.20, including tax and shipping. Had this one for about 6 months. And North Face for me doesn't sell as well as it used to, I want to say 2 to 3 years ago. Slightly slower selling brand. I prefer Patagonia if I can get them. But anyways, moving on. Next item. Anytime I find TNC Hawaii related products, usually t-shirts, tank tops like this one, they sell pretty well. This one sold for $26.82, had about 99 cents into it. It was surfing related tank top, and I sell a lot of tank tops year round. Hawaii related or Hawaiian related, surfing related, beach related stuff does really well. And TNC, I've sold this brand. I'm not even sure if this is the brand. This is just the logos on there. I think it was a generic tag on there. It sells pretty well though, regardless. Okay, next up was a retro, not vintage, retro Nirvana t-shirt. It was all over print, big size, 5XL. It did, when did I get this? This was probably 4 or 5 months ago. I got about 10 of these. They're kind of a polyester, kind of a silky style t-shirt. Usually have all kinds of prints, usually bands, athletes, comic book characters, that type of thing. This was Nirvana. Like I said, this was not vintage, it was retro, which means it kind of looks like something vintage, or it's copying that style that came out back in the day. And this one sold for $22.03. I had nothing to this, maybe 40, 50 cents at most. And so I was happy to see that one go. Now this t-shirt was vintage. This was a Joe Montana, number 19, big head, Kansas City Chiefs, NFL t-shirt. Not very big, it was a medium, smaller size, so it sat for at least a year, I think, maybe 18 months. It's from 1993. You can see the big head style there, or fat head, or whatever you call it. I love picking up those, even if they're not vintage, even if they're like retro, pick those up. That's, I mean, something that people are looking for. I sold a retro Golden State Warriors t-shirt. Had the entire team, big head version. I hope I'm calling it the right thing. But anyways, it sold for $50. So this one, this Joe Montana t-shirt sold for $28.19, including tax and shipping. So I'm going to skip a couple of sales here because they're boring. I don't want to just give you t-shirts. Okay, moving on. I got a lot of about 35 to 45 pewter figurines. They're Dungeons and Dragons, wizards, and kind of fantasy style, mini metal style figurines. This one was, I believe they call it a Partha dragon. Had Tom Meyer was the person that I believe designed it. His name was on the actual piece. And this one sold for $28.06. These are going a little bit slower than I thought they would. I thought these would jump off the shelves, and I had them priced for higher. They've been sitting for, I want to say, 3 months at least. I've showed these in my What Sold videos in the past. They sell slowly, but I spent $35 on about 35 to 50 of these things, so I have less than $1 into them. So I'm happy to see it go at $20.06, including tax and shipping. Next one, I'm a big fan of action figures, especially vintage action figures. This was from the Big Jim line. This was Zeb McCahan, and this is another one I listed really, really high, and it did not go for the price I wanted initially. I've already sold 9. I think this is the last piece of this lot. If not, there might be one more piece left. Mainly accessories, actually. This figure had no clothing, had nothing with it. The leg, if you can, I don't know if you can really see, it was kind of coming off a little bit, so it wasn't in the best shape. Still had the karate chop arm action working, so that was cool. This is from 1971. It sold for $53.52, including tax and shipping. And I like these. Anything to do with Big Jim sells well, not ridiculously well, I must say. I mean, generally between $30 to $50 for figures. If they're in great shape and total, like coming with all the accessories, all the parts, or if they're sealed in the package, even better, then they'll go for a lot more. But if you can pick up Big Jim stuff, pick it up. It's a precursor to He-Man Masters of the Universe. Obviously, they're all made by Mattel. So Mattel took this line, the Big Jim line, and kind of repurposed it, should we say. I think there's like a Big Jim cat, and they turned that into Cringer or Battle Cat, so that kind of thing. So if you ever watch the Netflix documentary, The Toys That Made Us, check out the one about Masters of the Universe, because they talk about Big Jim, because obviously Toyland's trying to cut costs, so if they could repurpose molds that they already had, which is exactly what they did, that's what they'll do. So check out Big Jim if you can find it. And actually, my next item is also another Big Jim piece. This is a vintage Big Jim basketball tank top jersey. This is really small. It was like 2 inches by an inch and a half, something like that. And it sold for $16.94, including tax and shipping. I have multiple accessories that came with that same lot that other figure I just showed you had in it. And this piece right here, I remember I got an email from somebody saying, "Why are you listing so high? This thing goes for $5.65 or something very low." And they reprimanded me for that. So I actually had this listed for a lot higher. I took $16.94 because I'm happy to see it go. To be honest, that's probably a fair price for this piece. But like I said, look up for Big Jim. Big Jim is decent money, not big money, decent money. Okay, next piece, another shirt. This one I've had for like 3 years. This is one of the oldest pieces I had in my inventory. J. Crew orange striped. I put it as an ugly Christmas sweater. I think I did this probably 2-3 months ago, just because it's been sitting so long. It was Shetland wool. It's a women's piece. I usually don't sell much women's clothing. I got this from the bins, one of the rare times I ever go to the bins. So this is probably from 2018, maybe 2019, somewhere in there. So that's how old it is. And yeah, actually I can see the date on here, 5/19/19. So May 19th, 2019. That's how long I've had this piece for. So this sold for $20.94. I probably had 50 cents into it. I shouldn't have kept it for this long. I should have donated this a long time ago, but still happy to see it go. So, okay, moving on here. Let's take a look at, this is an Amazon sale. It was a Sony Spindle, 100 DVDs, blank DVDs, DVD-Rs, excuse me, and a recordable. I got this about 3 days ago, I think, at Goodwill for $4.99. Sold for $99.99 plus shipping on Amazon Merchant Fulfilled. I was going to send this in to FBA, but what I do is all the stuff I get that I'm going to send in for FBA, if it can go, for Merchant Fulfilled, I will do that immediately upon buying it. And then, because it usually takes me at least a few days to get my shipments ready for FBA. And then once I get it, I'll switch it over to FBA. Precisely for this reason, because now I don't have to send it in the FBA. I got, I think, pretty much what it was listed for. There were actually none listed. I found an old one that was a different model, and it was sold for $42 or $45. But because there were none listed on FBA for this exact one right now, I listed it high for 99 bucks, and it sold. So that was cool with me. So I'll be sending it off tomorrow. Okay, let's see. I'm going to skip a few. There are t-shirts here again. Another one here, plain Ralph Lauren shirt. The only reason I'm going to point this one out is because this was actually returned. I sold a brown version of this shirt, I want to say a year ago, and the guy said, "Oh, it's the wrong size. I need to return it." He returned this shirt instead, and because he did that, he ended up losing. I was going to give him a refund and everything, and once I told eBay that, they got rid of that. So I had emailed him and I said, "You know what? Look, you may have just sent me the wrong one," and he never responded. And I looked him up. He was a reseller. So a little disappointed. Fellow resellers should at least respond. And it's not a big deal, to be honest. I was happy to give him I've sent the wrong item to the wrong person plenty of times. But he never responded. And so that kind of annoyed me a little bit. So anyways, long story short, I put this back into my inventory. Sold for $22.45 a year later. Excuse me. And so that's where we are with that. Okay, next one. This is a t-shirt, but it's slightly vintage. I'm not exactly sure how old. It's an old Abercrombie and Fitch t-shirt. Says, "Oh no, I bust a nut," on the front of the shirt. Excuse me. I'm getting a cough, I think. Anyways, it's a small ringer t-shirt. I've had this for about a month, I believe. It sold for $24.98. I had it listed for about $40, and I had multiple offers that were really low. And on this one, I said, "You know what? It's been sitting for a month. I think I've overpriced it, so I just let it go. Why not?" I got it for $2.99 about a month ago, like I said. Okay, next one here is a Star Wars piece. This one was missing pieces. It wasn't broken, but it was missing several pieces. It's newer. It's not vintage. From 2016. It's a TIE silencer Force Link vehicle, apparently from The Last Jedi. 2016, 2017 Hasbro piece. Sold for $63.37. Now, more than half of that went to shipping and tax. So, because this was going to Canada, so it's going, I believe, it's not going to GSP. But they are paying over $30, it looks like, for shipping. So, but I'm happy to see this go. I've had this for about, I want to say 6 weeks, something like that. I pick up these pieces. This one was for $4.99. So happy to see this one go. It's a bigger piece, actually. It's hard to tell from that picture. But I pick up anything like that. If you get it for like $4 or $5, it'll go for between 20 to 30 bucks, give or take. So this was right in there. So it made sense to let it go for that price. I had it listed for, I think, 50 bucks. Okay, this one right here, nothing fancy. This is a Calhoun Sportswear, which I don't know the brand, but the main thing is it's a Corona Extra tank top. Now, I do a lot with beer-related or alcohol-related shirts, and not just shirts, sometimes accessories too, like bottle buckets and holders and bottle swings, that kind of thing. This one sold for $26.81. I had about 99 cents into this one. I've got lots of these, similar ones, Budweiser type, Corona, Heineken, Guinness, and other types of alcohol too. So people like this. It's kind of a novelty piece, but it sells pretty well. Like I said, year round, I sell tank tops. There's always somebody. It's always warm somewhere. So if I can get it for 99 cents, I wouldn't pay more than $1.99 for that though. Okay, moving on here, and I'm getting towards the end here. And this one right here, this is actually, I picked this one up. This is a Sony Walkman. It was a WM-EX102 black cassette player with mega bass, and sold for $86.59, including tax and shipping. I had this listed for way higher than this, but I only listed this like 3 days ago. And I know people are going to say, well, you should have been more patient. The packaging was really bad. I don't know if you can tell this. It's literally like you could stick your finger all the way through and touch the piece. It's like a dime-sized crack, and the back has, they had written the price on the back in bright blue pen. So I tried to get rid of it a little bit, and I was destroying the back. I quickly dried it up the best I could, and so I kind of probably messed up the back a little bit there. But anyways, I'll be $5 into this, and getting $86.59 out of it was pretty good. Like I said, that's gross. That's a gross price right there. But happy to let that go fast. I'd rather take a fast flip, and it was the only offer I got. But 3 days, why not? Just get rid of it. Okay, and let's see here. I've got 2 more left, actually. We'll do 2 more. I'll skip a few more t-shirts. Like I said, that's mainly what I sell. This is a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shell Razor Van Sewer Assault. It's not vintage. It's a retro piece from 2012. For me, Ninja Turtle stuff, I want to say in the last year, has started to do really well. I don't know if that's because of new movies coming out soon. I think it is. But I nearly always do well with the figures, the accessories, the play sets, the vehicles. This vehicle was missing parts, and I got it for $4.99. Sold for $44.38, including tax and shipping. And so $29.99 of that was the cost of the item. So the rest of that was tax and shipping. So this is, I always pick up Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles stuff if I see it for a decent price, $5 or under, $3 or under, something like that. Pick it up if you see it, but nothing for more than that. I wouldn't pay up too much. Okay, and the last one I'm going to go over today, nothing fancy, going back to clothing. This one I listed for a long time. I want to say over 2 years, and it was maybe even longer than that, because I believe it was before Bill Cosby was thrown in jail. I believe he's in jail, or indicted, or prosecuted for that whole thing. That, well, we won't go into what he did, but you can look it up. It was pretty bad. A Tundra sweater. It's a 3D print, bright Coogee style. Now, I would never write this title again for multiple reasons. One, Coogee style, I can get dinged for that right there. I didn't notice this. I usually go through and I check all of my listings, especially the old ones. This one slipped through the cracks. I could have easily been dinged for this, so I would not recommend writing Coogee style, even though you see it all the time. It's, I don't know, maybe you could do that and get away with it. I did, obviously, but I wouldn't recommend it. Also, Bill Cosby, from some people I've heard, if you add that to your title, it actually hurts your listing. I've actually taken the Cosby out of most of my listings. Biggie, Fresh Prince, early 90s, 1990s, hip hop, that type of stuff is fine. This is a really plain sweater, actually. It's not that, I've sold much nicer looking ones, brighter, bolder, really 3D looking ones. This one was pretty plain. So anyways, my point to that is just be careful with your titles and keep them updated. This one obviously wasn't. Sold for $39.50. I had maybe, I think $1.99 into this. Like I said, this is probably 2.5 years old, maybe longer than that. But that is it for this week. I'm sorry, this What Sold is coming in a little bit late. If you want to see more What Solds, please let me know if there's anything you'd like to see. If you like this kind of content, please check out our morning show, myself, Leroy Blood, and also known as Blood, Sweat, and Cell. Do a morning show Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, and 9 a.m. Eastern. And we talk about all this kind of stuff. And I'll be putting out a new What Sold video once a week moving forward. This is probably my 4th or 5th one, so check out my older ones. And if, like I said, if you'd like to like, comment, and subscribe, I would really, really appreciate it. And hopefully I'll get some better editing. And I can hear my son in the background telling me to stop. So I will end this video here. Thanks, as always. Have a good one. Bye, guys.
Thanks for listening to the Reseller Niche Podcast. Show notes and social media links are located at resellerniche.com. Please comment, rate, and subscribe to us on iTunes or YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts.